do best and embarrass their kids. So I will be embarrassing Sarah Moore tonight, which is the last time I get to call her by that name. But I also want to talk to Alex a little bit about this woman he is about to marry. Sarah is a very independent, strong-willed young lady. Alex, I'm sure by now you've discerned that Sarah, in a word, is a fighter. And I want to tell a couple stories from my perspective, maybe with a little embellishment, of how I discovered this trait in Sarah from a father's point of view. So we'll go back to the day of her birth. So settle in, it's a long story. We are at the hospital. There is me and Debbie and a nurse, a doctor popping in every once in a while. The room is somewhat like a hotel room. Soft light, very comfortable, very calming. And the moment comes for Sarah's birth. And suddenly, about 27 and a half people burst into the room with all kinds of equipment, masks, gloves, lights, and this swarm of people coming in. Now, this was not my first experience as a father helping with the delivery. Went to Lamaze class. Very good at telling my wife at the time, don't forget to breathe. If she passed out, she would still be breathing. But that's the job they give the fathers, because it makes you feel like you have something to do, makes you feel important. So we're there. The birth is progressing. The doctor comes in. Doctor, how do you do? I want you to know she's breathing. I've got this under. I'm sent over to the window to look out the window with the pad on my head. Over there, Mr. Moore. We'll take care of this. As the birth progresses, a problem develops. A problem that I will not discuss at the dinner table. But these people, this crowd of people burst in because of this situation. They're over in the corner setting all this stuff up. Sarah comes into the world. There's suddenly this group taking her over into the corner, and they form around her just like a football huddle. So I'm back and forth like, gosh, they didn't cover this in Lamaze. I'm not sure what to do. She's still breathing, so I guess we're okay. I can't get to the baby. Mr. Moore, just go away. So at a certain point, there is a relaxed mood falls over this group of medical technicians. They were huddled over her, very tense. All of a sudden, they just kind of relax. Sarah is brought forth as that circle of people kind of spread open. She's wrapped in all the cloths, and they hand her to Debbie. I get talking with the doctor, and I find out what the problem was. Again, I'm not going to tell you. But I remember thinking, man, this kid is tough. This kid's a fighter. So, fast forward about 3 years. We're sitting in church. We attended a lot of different Baptist churches. One of the traditions was somewhere between the opening hymn and the sermon, there was a period of time when you were encouraged to stand up, walk around, and greet people. Some people kind of stayed in their pew. Others decided they had to go to the northeast end of the church and meet the farthest people away. But people would get out and congregate and talk. And I could never participate in that, because the moment I stood up, I had this 3-year-old, 30-pound kid bear hugging my leg, face buried into my pant leg. If you notice, you'll see tomorrow, when I first get up and walk, I walk with a little bit of a limp. Now, the doctors say I have arthritis and the joint grew kind of funny, and that's why I have that difficulty walking. I know the truth. The truth is that little girl crushed part of the bones in my left knee, and I'm scarred for life. And so at this point in this father's journey, I'm like, wait a minute, 3 years ago, this was a really tough kid. Now, I got this 30-pound wimp hanging onto my leg. She wouldn't look at anybody, she wouldn't shake hands, she didn't want anything to do with it. I'm thinking, I'm not sure what's going on here. Fast forward a few more years. Now this one I wasn't there to witness, but my informant Katie was there, my oldest.
Oh no.
Debbie had the kids at McDonald's.
Oh, yes.
This was pre-COVID, back when they
Yeah.
had the giant hamster cage enclosed in glass and you put your kids in there. You had to take the shoes off, so, you know, whatever, the odor in the room probably was horrible. Had to take the shoes off, you put the kids in here and turn them loose. Sarah's in this playpen. They have a slide kind of in the center, and we had to go up a certain ladder, whatever elevation, to get up to the top of this slide. Well, a line's formed. Sarah's in that line, waiting to go down the slide. Young man comes up behind her, eyeballs the line, decides the line's too long. He decides the best thing to do to move the line along is to shove the kid in front of him. That kid was Sarah. So he pushes her, letting him know he's not happy with the progression of the line. To which Sarah turns around, double fist chest bumps this kid backwards. I love to picture other kids behind him and everybody going down. And yells at this kid, "Don't push me." My wife gets the kids gathered together, gets them out of McDonald's before the McDonald's land police show up. And the van, never allow us to return to work. So Katie relays this story to me, and I'm thinking, okay, maybe she is a little bit of a fighter. She gets older, she discovers music, plays the saxophone in a marching band, performs at football games, parades, competitions, discovers singing, performs in high school, concerts, goes off to OU, joins crew, and flies halfway around the world. Now she stands and speaks at churches, talking about how God is using her. And I can look back now and say, yeah, I was right. She is a fighter. So Alex, you are marrying a very determined, very tough fighter. But I could not imagine a better husband for my daughter than you. So, raise your bottle. To Alex and Sarah, may you love and serve God, and love and serve one another for the rest of your days. To Alex and Sarah.